Alright, so today I'm back with yet another chapter review, and today we will go over chapter 319, where we will finally see Nigeria attacking with their new tactic. However, I won't say what happens, as you will just have to sit back and watch to find out what happens. Anyway, please leave a like and a comment as well, and subscribe to my other channels down in the description. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. Alright, so starting off chapter 319, also called the Fanaticism Formula, we firstly see silhouettes of all of the masters with the text saying, "Do you know why soccer has this much power to entrance humanity?" We then also see Ego, which makes it clear that this is his inner monologue. We then see the kickoff starting as ISAGI passes the ball over to Rin. Ego's little speech then continues as he says that regardless of birth or wealth, with just a ball, anyone in the world can freely take the field. There's no denying that this is connected to this sport's massive popularity. Right here, we have to take a break from his speech and focus on what is actually happening on the field, as we see Rin firstly getting free from two no-names from the Nigeria team. And we also see both Bello and Kuso starting to get active and start to sprint as they are headed to Rin. Now back to Ego, who says that, in its essence, it's even more primate and the origin of all sports lies in hunting, as he says that we see that both Bello and Kuso were able to quickly go to Rin. However, they simply ended up being done over with ease by the goat Rin. After that, back to Ego. It really feels like we are just going back and forth, but what can we do? Anyway, he says that as recorded on the prehistoric paintings found in caves, people tested their combat skills in martial arts and competed to display the physical abilities needed for chasing prey, as well as throwing stones or spears. At their root, all sports originate in the act of acquiring prey. In other words, acquiring prey fills empty stomachs. Sports originate from the basic acts of creatures trying to live. That's also why people's hearts are so entranced by sports. We then leave the Yap Master for a while as we see Oboabona, who came in and stopped Rin in his tracks. This makes the crowd go nuts as Oboabona gets the ball, which feels like it's his first time in this whole match. But anyway, he tells his team to smash it in and announces that this is Nigeria's counterattack. The ball goes to Kuso, who has Bachira right by him, so he passes it forward to Bello, who traps it pretty coldly. He tells everyone to let's go and not to pass to Onatsi. After that, he makes a really sick turn on Karasu, who wasn't even able to process what just happened. But Bello, on the other hand, is fired up as he says that he is getting a goal himself. However, you know what I said about Karasu earlier? Well, that was a lie, as he was closely following Bello and asked him if he was trying something new and told him that it wasn't going to work as he tried to separate Bello from the ball, which did work, but in the last second, Bello managed to somehow pass to his side. He said that he couldn't do it and told his teammate to try instead. His teammate got the ball, and we learned that he is called Sadiq. Sadiq said, "Alright," and told Bello that he had done good work so far. We then get to the blue locker's side as Rio screams that he is coming alone and Chigiri tells him that he is on it. Sadiq, who thinks that he is a main character or something, says that they can also be egotistical as he rushes with the ball. Chigiri and Rio is looking at him closely before Rio tells Chigiri to box him in, and both of them manages to end his dreams of ever being relevant by crushing him and making the ball fly high up. Right here, we also get back to Ego's message as he says that, and in the sport known as soccer, players form teams and exchange intentions, then chase down their prey and finish it off, saying that you could call it a variant of group hunting. He asks, what is the position of the striker? The one who fearlessly leads the charge and slips past the enemy's eyes to land the fatal strike against their massive prey. And that's why the creatures known as streakers are heroes we instinctually yearn for. Anyway, now back to the actual fun part as we see Onatsi coming and snatching the ball in the last second, and he is heading for the goal. However, ISAGI is right on his tail as he is going for him. But that's when Onatsi makes a heel trap over him, and we then get this insane looking panel with Aiku, Ryu and ISAGI all around him as he is heading into a shooting stance. Meanwhile, we also see Gagamaru, who has a whole mammoth behind him, which this just looks completely insane and should go down in Blue Lock history. Anyway, we then get back to Onatsi, who right when he was about to send away the shot. Hey, it's Natsu mid-editing here, and I just wanted to pause the video to ask you to subscribe if you haven't already, and while you're already down there, why not leave a like as well? Both Aiku and Ryu arrives right in front of him and stops him from doing anything too dangerous. Onatsi, he just smirks and says that it's not bad as he passes to his side. This play of his leaves both defenders completely in awe, as Ryu can't believe that the ace player would pass here, and even Aiku admitted that he didn't see that coming. Onatsi, on the other hand, screams at Kuso, who is running with everything that he can towards the ball. Onatsi smiles as he sees him, and Kuso starting getting ready to fire off the ball. His aura around him starts to build up as even his eyes begins to flare up, and before he shoots the ball, we hear Ego saying that, in other words, the world's greatest striker must be the world's greatest hunter, and right when he says that, Kuso fires off his shot towards Gagamaru. Or not exactly, as his shot gets blocked right from the start by none other than Rin, who came and stopped him. Kuso can't even believe it himself, as he sounds super surprised. Meanwhile, Rin tells him that it was too tepid and calls him a cornrow nerd. Rin also looks completely immersed in the game as he tells Kuso that he doesn't have enough goal lust. We see the crowd being ecstatic over this incredible save by Rin, and the ball then flies all the way into the sky. However, you guessed it, as firstly we get back to Ego, who says that so the simple act of kicking a ball around lets humans feel the primal sense of creatures trying to live, and their instincts are utterly entranced, calling it soccer's fanaticism formula. With that, we see our boy Aiku rushing towards the ball and also activating his meta vision as he jumps towards the ball and manages to get to it before anyone else and heads it away to none other than the poster boy of Blue Lock Isagi, who traps it, and with burning determination in his eyes, he looks back at Rin and tells him to test it. Rin gets right up from the ground, and he also starts to get fire in his eyes as he tells Isagi that he is on it. But those aren't the only ones who are locked in, as on top of them, we also see Ego, who places his palms together and tells his players to go on and hunt their dream of being the world's best and to prove that they are heroes. With that, we see Isagi's puzzle pieces starting to get active around him as he, alongside Rin by his side, rushes with all that they can against the goal. Now with that, we sadly have a break next week. However, it's more than deserved. Also, the next chapter will be called Hero or Die, which firstly you can't tell me that it doesn't sound super cool. However, I feel like it will be a lot revolving around Rin mostly. We know with his will of fighting a hero, and then die, or what it was that he told Sei in his and Sei's flashback before. But I think that it will be a lot revolving around him, but also Isagi. And who knows, we might even end up seeing another goal for Blue Lock, which is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that this first game is an absolute stomp and that they win by a lot, so seeing another goal would just make me super happy. Personally, I would want Isagi to score it more than Rin. However, I'm not like ride or die with that. But let me know whether you are sensing another goal, or will Nigeria stop it? Anyway, now let's talk about this chapter and how well it went for Nigeria with their new tactic. I won't go in on them too much. However, it was so funny how they had all that talk about copying Blue Lock and playing for themselves just to be shut down in their first attack. Blue Lock really has this game on total lockdown, and if I were in the Nigeria team, then I would also be lost. However, I don't think that they will end the game with 0 goals, that's for sure, as I do smell Onatsi getting at least 1 goal before this match is over, because if not, then it's really bad for them. Now, in this chapter, we also had our Yap King Ego going absolutely crazy. And don't get me wrong, I love when he is going on with his monologues and all of that. However, this one I didn't get at all. Most likely it was because of how separated it was. And like, the first part was in the beginning, and then it ended all the way on the last page. However, what I got from it was that strikers are the same thing as hunters, which, if you want to keep it on a surface level, sounds extremely cool. But anyway, please let me know if you understood what he was going on about, and what you think will happen in the next chapter, not to mention what you thought about this one. Anyway, if you like Blue Lock and videos like this, then I would highly suggest you subscribe to this channel, and while you are at it, leave a comment and a like, as it helps out with the algorithm a ton. And if you are curious to see another video of mine, then please watch the video that will be popping up on the screen now. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a great day. Bye.